Morning. Welcome to Tomcat Zone. Today I'm going to be going through a couple boards because instead of log files we just have the after results of actions. So the cool thing is I'll finally hit my goal here of making these videos a little shorter. That last one was much longer than I intended, and because of it I watched through it last night and it's choppy as usual because for some reason the data bogs down. I don't understand all this stuff yet, so maybe it's the recorder, maybe it's, I'll have to figure things out if I keep going beyond this Fifth Fleet battle. But anyway, here we are into turn, well, I'm going to bring up the turn marker and explain what we're looking at. We're actually into the start of turn 3. This board here will reflect the action segments 4, 5, and 6. So if you remember, our previous video was action segment 1, 2, and 3. 1 being his air attacks, where he destroyed Muscat and some other locations. I took the second action segment with my submarines, and they did a weak showing at best, only getting a couple hits. I mean, I can't complain too much, but it's 2 subs that I can potentially get sunk here soon. And then I had 1 initiative into the new action segment for 3, and I moved surface. Did some consolidation and got some the victory point ships moving again towards their objectives. So in 4, 5, and 6, Scott went. He attacked with his submarines. Then he won initiative in the last 2 action cycles, 5 and 6. He attacked with his ships, attacked with his subs, and then I followed up to end the turn with my aircraft. You can see the results here as we look at the onset of game turn 3. Obviously, Car Nicobar aircraft are sitting here in the Allied kills. So we know that Car Nicobar died. We'd already lost this Dubai MiG, or not MiG, Mirage 2000 earlier when in his initial onset of attacks over my Persian Gulf bases. But we lost an Australian frigate, and our vaunted Omani patrol craft gave their lives for their 1 hit on the slow convoys there. So let's see what happened. I'm just going to scroll over this map, and then I'll be bringing up another map in this video, and we'll see a couple actions here in one. So anyway, so let's see what happened. This is obviously before the onset of turn 3 because we haven't rolled for initiative yet to see who goes first in the action segment of the night turn. Quick understanding of the night turn. Night turns aren't too different than the day turns. The only thing that does come into play is aircraft and bombing. Certain aircraft at nighttime will either take a negative to their attacks because of not being equipped for nighttime incursions. Some can't even take off, like the Yak Forger. So it gives you some deficiencies at nighttime for some aircraft. There's a list of them in the book that tells you which ones can't. So the cool thing is, as long as you have 1 aircraft of 1 type in the raid, it takes away that deficiency. So anyway, let's look real quick and see what happened in action segments 4, 5, and 6 of the afternoon turn 2. So just starting up here in the upper left corner, we're going to see that his submarines are also moving out of the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea here. He's getting the Spiznikov and the Beluga and the Griff. A couple diesel boats and a nuclear boat moving south towards, well, again, this would actually be north, towards the Socotra zone. He wants to get his subs in, poised against my, and here comes the Bay call, poised against my task forces down here. And it's proving that the Soviet weapon of choice, where the U.S. has its vaunted carriers and aircraft, the Soviets, even with the technological wonders that our subs are, for NATO or for the U.S. Man, these subs, these Soviet subs are deadly, and we'll see that progress through the game here. But the Bay call is Task Force 2. What Task Force 2 is more slow convoys. Now these Task Force 2 slow convoys, they have to get all the way over to Iran. So I got time on those. It's, oh no, excuse me. These guys have to get to Ras Karma, which is the island here in Socotra. And based on the distance to Ras Karma, based on my assets available to stop that, besides this French sub, the British sub and the French task force, I don't have a lot of assets to work with to stop that one group. He's got a lot of air cover in this area that he can rely on. Gulf of Aden, the cap over Gulf of Aden has been pulled. I don't know why, but not Gulf of Aden, but the city of Aden. I don't know why that's pulled, but all the way down through the Gulf of Aden into Socotra, he is well positioned. Oh, I got to see what happened from one grouping to the next. He's well positioned with air coverage to protect this task force. So I'm already of the mindset that these ships are going to make it to their port in Task Force 2 here in Ras Karma, and he's going to get the points for that. And the points for that is, let me turn off this stuff here real quick. So the points for that in Task Force 2 is 10, 20, 30, 40. He's going to get 40 victory points, and I got little that I can do about it, except to try and intervene with these subs. Now, this convoy here is Task Force 3. That was the one I attacked. Obviously, you can see my Omani patrol craft are gone. So he retaliated, fired on them, got an easy kill. They've only got a strength of 2. And then he moved north and got this Task Force 3 up towards Al-Makalla. The great thing is here is he's going the wrong way. And, hey, if he wants to bog down his convoy movement, that's fine with me. So I got a little bit of a victory in that. Of course, we're still early in the game, so we'll count those chickens as they come to roost. His subs moved about. Obviously, there was the turbulence is still haunting the Socotra for him, but he's bringing his subs to bear. The French Clemenceau is just riding outside of Ras Karma's carrier or air defenses. All right, we look here and you'll see that he got lucky with some torpedo attacks as well. I hit his Lunchki, obviously, but between the Lunchki and the Balkash, the Shark was hit and has been damaged. So that's a bummer for our nuclear subfleet. In the Chagos Archipelago, finally found this Sayomga. So with that local detection marker, I can start to harass this boat. Fortunately, he doesn't have the capability, unless I attack him, to even test to find the Albany. That's good. Continuing, I'm going to do like a big circle here around the map board. He moved his submarines closer into Task Group 7. Again, Task Group 7 is just 2 frigates and a full tanker. You're going to find as you watch these things that I kind of wobble back and forth on which way to take these boats, these ships I should say, because these subs coming in, and to my detriment, I take too long. And you'll see that later. Here in East Indian Ocean, obviously he got lucky again with his, attacking ships with subs. You don't have to be too lucky. It's I don't want to say it's a guaranteed hit, but it certainly can. Subs are very effective against ships, especially small task force ships that are weak in ASW. These Australians took a hit. We lost their destroyer, one of their destroyers, as we saw here on the kill list, the Adelaide. was sunk, a frigate I should say, and the Burmese Endeavor, the full tanker Burmese Endeavor, was hit as well, and she's got to get to the Straits of Malacca. That slows her down. Well, no, her speed's still a 3. Fortunately, these tankers are really strong, 6 strength compared to combat ships, which might have 2 3s or maximum 4s. So it's hard to kill these tankers and these larger ships. But he did get a hit on that, and he sunk my frigate. One mistake here is you'll see it's no longer in a task group. I mistakenly thought that once we were down to 3 ships, I lost my task group, and that's a flub in the rules, which will, again, give him a benefit and bite me in the tail. Over here, task group 17 has moved to get in close proximity of Task Force 5, and Task Force 5 has been located. This is cool. Task Force 5 of the Russians is a simple fast frigate and light cruiser group of ships. I'm going to blow them out of the water. That's my goal. Now that I've found them, the Rangers in real good close proximity to start hitting these guys. I also have F-111s, Australian F-111s in Singapore, as well as American F-111s, which are they on cap? What the heck? Cap 20. Let's see what cap 20 is. No, they are in, where's my F-111s? Ah, that's it. Okay, so we'll talk about that here in a minute. Anyway, so between 4, 5, and 6 of the last term, what happened? In 4, 5, and 6, the Soviets hit the Narwhal and the Shark, along with sinking the Omani PCS and the Australian fast frigate Adelaide. The Burmese Endeavor was hit. For us, the Allies, my B-52s launched out of Diego, as well as my F-111s out of Indonesia. And Car Nicobar was hit twice with bombs and was destroyed. So that's where I got that stack of ships, or stack of aircraft. His first air base is destroyed. He lost a good number of fighters, which is cool. They're worth points to me, victory points. His electronic warfare aircraft and stuff like that are not. I want to make sure that the B-52 didn't use its last cruise missile. So look at here, cruise missiles. Yep, so I guess I didn't bomb it, I hit it with cruise missiles. So essentially the B-52 is nothing more than a bomber now. It's apparent, though, that in my air phase of 4, 5, and action segment 6 of game turn 2, I moved some aircraft. He moved some aircraft. 3 turns, so this would have been in 2, so 3 turns later they'd be available. My F-111s flew to Diego Garcia, and he sent his aircraft to Esfahan. The cool thing is I hit Esfahan, and Esfahan is now a damaged air base, so I don't know why that transition was made. Soon I'll have these F-18s in this EA6 that were out of Bandar Abbas. They'll be soon available, as well as the F-18s that were chased out of Muscat, I believe. And his MiG-31s will soon be available with the onset of the new day. So but going back up the map here, the task forces, the Russian and Indian task forces, are now moving south, which is kind of a major issue because I've only got one major task force here, which is the Ranger. Again, talking about consolidation earlier, coming together and placement of your initial pieces that are free setup, might reevaluate that next time I play this game in this scenario, because of, although the Ranger's very capable and she's not detected and I've got a lot of defenses around her, she's far from any major help, not even air-based land support, nothing. So a long way. But his task forces, then this is the Vikrant. Task Force 1, the Indian Task Force 1 is the Vikrant, and his Task Force 4 is the Kiev, I believe. Yeah, the Kiev. Now, the Kiev isn't crazy strong with aircraft. They've got their AEW helicopter helixes, and they got Yak Forgers, which aren't critical, but air cover's air cover. My Tomcats could blow those things out of the sky, but because he's got the two task forces close by, their mutual air coverage helps them. So the Kiev benefits from the Indian Jaguars, and of course the Indian task force benefits from those Yak Forgers. So is it major threatening? No, but what is threatening is if he can get close proximity, he's got one heck of surface to surface missile attacks. 16, 16, 14, 14, 10, 10. These this is a killing task force. I mean, all those cruisers and destroyers, missile cruisers, guided cruisers, and man, if they can get close to the Ranger and find her, the Ranger only has, going up here, the Ranger only has 1, 2, 3, 4 escorts, along with the amphibious assault vessels that she's trying to escort to their location. So, you know, might have been a better thought if I'd gone a different direction. I had time. Again, we're only in the first turn, and I'm worried about racing these boats to their locations. Probably should have been racing them towards each other. So, anyway, back up here. Nothing major. Again, task forces moving. Task Force 2's moving. He located the Shushuk and attacked her and hit her, which is too bad. I was hoping that sub would get another hit into his carrier task force. And then finally, he brought all those subs to bear, which is cool, on the Narwhal. Again, he chased three of his best subs towards my retreating Narwhal and hit her, which sucks, but I pulled those subs away from these guys up here, my task forces, and Task Force 420. The Ovsenko, which was damaged last turn, he took it north, I'm assuming, to find my boats over here, my ships over here. Okay, quick look at the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. So far, I've got this task group here, which is Task Group 12, which is right here. It's 2 frigates, and it's got the Pivot and the Barcelona. Their goal is 3501. I can tell you right now, 3501 is Kuwait. Okay. So the cool thing is they're in the Persian Gulf now. In the scenario, the Larak, which is normally an Iranian, basically land defense, has missiles on it and rockets. If you pass by them, that you can attack. They're not available in this scenario. Neither the ones in the Gulf of Aden. So, but the bad thing is his little diesel boat here found her. I've had to pass this boat, which he had just positioned there right in the center of this transit. And of course, moving over her, he got my boat, or my ships here. So now I'm going to be plagued with that freaking sub in the Chaika up here coming down to try and kill these ships here that are coming into the Persian Gulf. I do have ships available. This Task Force 14 is, and even the Task Group 12 is capable ASW ships, but they aren't close at hand. I haven't localized either of his subs yet, so I can't do anything about them. All right, so that's basically up here. You can see Esfahan is damaged too. I must have made an attack against this base too to try and get some points. Zahidin hit her once. Of course, this is the night turn, so that will go away. So whatever, if this was a cruise missile attack by me, I don't have the notes on that. But if this was a cruise missile attack by me to get some points scored, it was a waste of time, because at the end of this turn, the night turn, all damage markers on bases that have been hit step down 1 with the repair phase. So I wasted a shot there. Anyway, let's go to the next map.